Hey, what's up everybody? So first of all, forgive me for this shitty camera quality because right now I don't really have a high quality camera, so I'm using photo booth, so just bear with it. As you can see from the title of the video, I'm going to be talking about my predictions on the Tommy Fury versus KSI fight and the reasons behind it. First of all, let's analyze their strengths and weaknesses, and from there we can decide who's beating who. Let's start off with KSI and his strengths. KSI fights with high aggression, high pressure. He's fast, powerful, explosive, has good footwork, and is an extremely hard-working individual. He has decent cardio as shown in his earlier fights with Logan Paul. He's shown significant improvements in his last few fights with cutting the ring and also bouncing out of range to avoid counters. And now we obviously gotta talk about his new interesting fighting style. So now he fights with a sort of hands-down karate stance where his feet are sort of aligned with each other. This is similar to Michael Venom Page, who also happens to be part of his training camp. This style is effective because of the karate style blitzes. These blitzes are what helps KSI land fast, unpredictable punches from a distance and gets him into range quickly. It's much easier for him to burst forward swiftly when the legs are aligned rather than doing it with a traditional boxing stance. It's like how a sprinter positions his legs before a race. Alright, now let's talk about KSI's weaknesses. So this style involves high risk and high reward, especially if KSI leaps forward missing his combos and gets countered. Another weakness is that he doesn't use his jab that much. He has holes in his defense such as lack of head movement, keeps his chin up especially when he's coming in with his punches, and he keeps his hands low. Another weakness is that him bouncing up and down like that has to be tiring, especially if he's going to do that for 8 rounds straight. It also has to be mentioned that he's never went 8 rounds in a boxing match before. Now let's analyze Tommy Fury's strengths and weaknesses. Tommy Fury is a fast and powerful volume puncher who could land accurate punches even while his opponent is moving away. Like KSI, he also fights aggressive and is good at backing out of range to avoid counters. Tommy uses a lot of feints, which makes his jabs unpredictable and well timed. He's shown to have decent ring generalship in his fight with Jake Paul. An example is when he was able to nullify Jake's right hand a few times by moving to his right. To add to his ring generalship, he also likes to purposely back up to make his opponent walk into his punches, causing more impact. This makes it risky to press on Tommy. The last strength he has is that he simply has more experience than KSI. Not only does Tommy have 4 more pro fights than KSI, but Tommy has had 12 amateur fights whereas KSI only had 2. Tommy's been practically boxing his whole life, whereas KSI started at 24 years old, which is how old Tommy is right now. Now on to his weaknesses. So the first weakness is that sometimes he would circle left at the wrong time, which makes him vulnerable to the left hand. He keeps his hands down, especially when jabbing, which makes him vulnerable to a left hook counter. Another weakness is that he would keep his chin up slightly in the air. The last reason is that he's never fought anyone with KSI's new style. Tommy would probably find him extremely hard to read since the style is so unorthodox and awkward. Now let's figure out as to who would most likely win. So although Tommy Fury is going at somebody that has an awkward and unique style, Tommy has the better fundamentals, better defense, better jab, and has more experience. KSI has never went against a fast and powerful volume puncher like Tommy Fury, so it's yet to be determined as to how he would be able to handle those fast barrages of punches landing clean on him. KSI's hands-down stance could also leave him vulnerable to Tommy's well-timed jabs. I've noticed that KSI's main way of defending is just to bounce out of range in order to not get countered. I believe with Tommy's volume punching, it would give KSI a very difficult time if he was only to rely on that as a way of defending. When Jake Paul tried to back up out of range, he paid for it a lot of times, as you can see here. Because of this, KSI will be exposed for his lack of defense. In addition to this, in all of KSI's fights, he's always been the one trying to press his opponent and walk them down. But like I said earlier, this would not be a good idea against Tommy because Tommy likes to bait his opponent by backing up and making them walk into his punches. This is a huge risk for KSI that likes to blitz forward with his chin up high. So in conclusion, I'd personally put my money on Tommy Fury, but then again, you never know because these are 2 heavy punchers. One punch could change everything. Just comment down below about what you think, and make sure to hit that like and subscribe button if you want to see more content, and peace out.